Yep. Okay, and slideshow. Okay, so I'm just going to get underway tonight. My topic for this evening, of course, is the power of inviting people to events. And some of you were there last Thursday at the training day down at the Gold Coast at the Pines. And on that day, Jen and I presented this, but I'm travelling solo tonight, so I'm one of the Bronze Executives, and I'd like to just spend some time tonight giving some tips about events and inviting people. So can everyone just nod if you can see the share screen really well? Got everybody on the share screen? Okay, that's great. So I'm just going to slip on forward now with the training. So when Jen and I get going for the year and we start to look at how to really get underway for the year, how to begin building our business, we sit down and spend a little bit of time visioning. And often we'll go to a local coffee shop. And when we go there, we get underway with looking at our why. I think that's probably the most important thing. People often just get underway and do lots of things, but you have to have a plan. And the first plan is to really know your why. Knowing your why can involve also having some figures, as in knowing how you want to build, maybe what rank you want to get to, how many more people you require or need to get on your left or your right side, things like that. So it's about having those things in mind. We always get going at the beginning of the year with a vision. So what's our vision for this year? Well, we have a vision to increase our rank by the time it gets to September, by convention time. So that's one of the visions we have for our business. But we've got some fairly extensive visions, and this year we started off with our vision planning with Leonie Dawson's books, and they're fabulous. They only come out once a year, right at the beginning, so you can get underway. So we start early, we keep at it, we keep going back to our books. We usually follow the A-Lift format, and you can find that on A-Team. Trish Schwenkler outlines it pretty well, and you will always find it on the Charge Up calls in SoundCloud. Big thing, I think, is to be consistent, to continue forward, always walking your talk. Just stay authentic to your own plan no matter what happens, and stay positive. You have to stay positive. Sometimes things go topsy-turvy. Sometimes things go a bit AWOL, and you have to just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back on track. That's an important part of our planning, and we might remind ourselves of that all the time with affirmations. Now, events. Events are pretty important, so make sure you have events that people can attend on a regular basis, weekly, fortnightly, monthly perhaps. And what we do here in Queensland, Jen and I in particular, we offer our coffee meetings, and they happen every fortnight on a Monday morning. So we have a regular event always in play, and we offer this event up all the time in Renew with Redox Facebook site. And other than that, we email some clients who are not on Facebook. So we always have ways of getting it out to people. We do reminders on Messenger as well. So even when people cannot make one event and they say, oh, I can't make that event, always have ready an alternate event or another option. So if they can't make one, there's another one within the week. So that's about the events themselves. I'm going to move fairly quickly through this PowerPoint just to keep everybody on track here tonight, and we'll certainly open up for questions at the end. So what is the magic of events? Well, we've built on the road to bronze, a lot of our leverage really came from events. Not only our morning coffee meeting, but also other events, all the corporate events that we're on, the team training events. We just made sure that we were constantly inviting people. Events offer leverage. When someone comes to an event, you don't have to do an entire presentation yourself. You take them to the event and they hear the entire presentation for someone else. Whenever we have an event outside of our house, so either a corporate event or an event run by team leaders, we make sure we always say to our people, we've got a carload, we want to fill a carload, and if we fill a carload, we ask somebody else on our team to take their car. So we try to get 1 or 2 carloads leaving from our house. And that just seems to work really well. So we get associates along and we often ask the associate, please bring a guest. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't work, but we always have a follow-up mechanism in place. The great thing about the events is during the actual event, testimonials are always asked for. So people, particularly a new associate or a guest, they'll hear testimonials from people outside of their team, which is always great because that gives it even more credibility and more social proof, obviously. An event, like a presentation, always expands people's product information. They hear something from a leader or from a speaker that they may not know or they haven't heard before. So there's always something they'll come home with. At an event, they also see other leaders, so they realise there may well be a business opportunity, and some people will leave the meeting and come home in the car with you and say, oh, is there a business to be made out of this? And then that's your opportunity to hook into a discussion about the ASEA opportunity. I think there's 2 ways of getting testimonials and information for the people who come with you. The first time really is hearing testimonials and information from the presenter, but really importantly, what we found when we bring people to events or send them to events, invariably they'll sit in a row next to someone else. They'll spark up a conversation and they'll say, oh, what are you on? Are you on the Renew 28 or are you on the liquid or something like that? Someone might say, oh, I'm actually on the skincare, and they might go, I didn't even know there was skincare. And then that starts a conversation to expand their knowledge. But not only that, that person they sit next to in that row will tell them their ASEA story, and that will pique interest or spark them in some other way. I'm just going to check here at the moment. I think we might have a little bit of a muting situation, so I'm just going to go back and see who we need to mute perhaps. So I'll just go back in and mute everybody. Okay, great. Thank you. So I'm just up to this last part on the screen share here. The other part is building trust and developing rapport. When people come along with you, they get used to you, they get to know you, and then they see you interacting with other associates and other leaders. So it definitely builds trust and rapport over time. Here's just a little snap of one of our ASEA for Coffee meetings. We started off these ASEA for Coffee meetings 12 months ago in May 2016 in coffee shops. We tested out 3 coffee shops before we actually decided to bring the ASEA for Coffee meetings back home. Coffee shops proved to be a great way to start, but not a great way to finish because there was lots of interference, coffee machines going berserk, waitresses delivering things, people coming in and out, going to order something else. So it was a bit unpredictable and uncontrollable. And even on one event, I had a whole cup of coffee spilt down the front of me. So that was a bit of a challenge in amongst trying to present to everybody. So you can look like a bit of a dork in that situation because you certainly can't control it. So we decided to make the decision when we started out this year to bring them home. So here's just a shot of us at home. We have them going all the time so people get used to it. It's in our lounge room, it's informal, but it's impactful. It is not an ASEA Renew 28 presentation. It's an informal coffee meeting that has a formal part in a circle to begin with. We have coffee and tea up on the bench. We always make some yummy things or have some yummy things there. So people often come, they stand around in the living area and have a bit of a chat with others. Then we get underway. We always do a check-in with the group that is not testimonial time. We make that really swift, and I call it lean speech, meaning you've only got about 30 seconds or a minute to just quickly introduce yourself, tell everybody when you started on the ASEA or Renew 28 product, and how long you've been on it for, and who introduced you. So simple as that. Then we always sell brochures and perhaps other materials. We ask people to share testimonials. We always do a demonstration, particularly with the gel. We call it 3 in 5, 3 in 5 minutes, and then off we go. We vary each of these opportunities with a video clip, a training, event news, maybe a mini presentation, and perhaps we have a guest speaker there. Now, I know Robin's raised a hand, so I'll just come up here. Are you right, Robin, or not? Okay, you're fine. Okay. So I'll keep going. Do not be afraid to engage your upline. So we've had 2 wonderful opportunities with our upline guest speakers. We invited Nicole to come to one of the coffee meetings, and at that coffee meeting we invited her to be a guest speaker, but in a little bit of a different way. We wanted to mix it up. So we had her speak in a interview type scenario. I interviewed her actually, and she responded to my questions and we recorded it. So it was a fabulous day. We had about 25 people at the coffee shop, and it was truly wonderful. So that was a great experience. And Nicole, that was in early December, so she was about 6 weeks from delivery, so she was enormous. And the issue with the coffee shop was the toilet was a long way away. So anyhow, that's all recovered now that we're home. And then just recently we had Janine, when she was up here from Melbourne, come stay with us overnight, and she was part of our coffee meeting in the morning. So we leveraged our upline, and that evening we had her do a presentation here. So we had 2 events in one day, which attracted 2 very different people. And of course they were able to answer questions that some of our guests and associates had. So it was great. So I just think events encourage the ASEA ethos. And the ASEA ethos, of course, is believe in this opportunity. You know, it's about believing in the opportunity. Getting to know more about the amazing molecules builds belief. So you see people who are using it, you hear more about it. It just is a fantastic opportunity. You belong. So events create moments of belonging. Anyone who was down at the weekend will probably feel like they belonged to the ASEA family. So I think recently we had a wonderful experience of that just in our group. We had a fellow whose son has been using the products for some time, and he's been to 2 meetings in less than a week. And he said to us the other night here when we were having coffee at the end of the meeting, he said, I've been wandering around in the wilderness for quite some time, but tonight I feel like I've found my family, I've found my tribe. So that was such a wonderful feeling for us. So that's the belonging bit. We're always the same. We change up the meetings a little bit in the morning meetings, but we're always the same. We're always approachable. We're always saying to people, you know, if we don't know something, we'll find out. We use 3-way calls too to help people, but the events are really the place that things come alive. It's like the juice. And this last one, because the ASEA ethos really is believe, belong, become. And I think this is really powerful. Through the culture of this company and personal development, you grow more, becoming a better version of yourself. And I truly believe that as you do all the personal development that comes with either building the business or using the products or the opportunity, you do grow. You grow because you find you get on calls like this and you learn more about the product, the opportunity, and you learn a lot more about yourself. So events, these ASEA events, of course, build community, they give recognition, and they create great leaders. So this is last, oh, sorry, I've slipped too far ahead. Hang on. There we go. So last November, the Trish Swinkler event, we just sent that out to our people and we said we want to get as many people there as possible. We ended up having about 20 associates and guests join us for the event, which was a marvellous day because we had a couple of rows together. We were able to all eat together at lunchtime. That was just our own team. And at that day, we'd been bronze for a little while, but that particular corporate event, we received recognition. And recognition is always wonderful. Who doesn't like recognition? So all the events are an opportunity to be recognised for having helped a lot of people, and also for being recognised for moving in such a way that you are becoming a leader in your team. You have to lead your team. You have to know your stuff, or if you don't, you have to know someone who does know it so that you can always access somebody else. So that was the big corporate event last November here in Brisbane. So the challenge, we always think about a challenge for everybody. So what are we talking about? What is truly the power of events? Well, it's the magic of connecting, and connection is what people want. People want to be connected in some way, particularly when they find something amazing. And the molecules are amazing on their own, but we are the connecting points for people to get their own journey going. So here's the challenge. I just say to you tonight, when you leave this call, one of the challenges here is to make a pledge to host an event of your own, perhaps. If you haven't hosted events yet, host one of your own. Just get going on it, and, it'll be okay. The hardest thing sometimes is to get going. We want to be perfect, to create the perfect event. But, you just never know whether an event's going to be perfect or not. It just has to be the way it is. Sometimes the more natural an event is, the more authentic it is. And that's really important. So make a commitment to invite plenty of people to events. And certainly there's a corporate tour coming up starting in a few days, actually. So if you are nearby to that corporate event, make a pledge to take yourself and to take some others with you in your own car. Sometimes people, if you ask them to come and they have to get there on their own, they can renege very easily. But if you say there's a couple of cars leaving from our place, get yourself there at 6:20, and that's the way to go, people will most likely get on board. And the last thing here, number 3 on this list, get out your living list, keep adding to it, and start inviting. That living list is dynamic. It's always changing. Sometimes you move people off there, particularly people who've given you grief and you go, maybe I don't want them in my team and don't want to be working with them. But other people you leave on there, they're not necessarily lost causes. The timing's just not right for them right now and then. So you just keep following them up, keep them in the loop. And because it's a living list, you're meeting people all the time to add to that list. So that's quite powerful. And last, I'll leave you with the final quote. Personal development is not something you can pursue as an armchair expert, not something you can master on the sidelines. It has to be a contact sport, one where you're in contact with others who can help you on your journey. And that's by Jeff Olson from The Slight Edge. So if you haven't had a chance to read that, just order that book and give it a go. It's quite a great book to read. But I think this is really important. It's a contact sport. It just means that if you're going to be in a community of like-minded people, there's a lot of connection and a lot of contact. You have to push out of your comfort zone. That's part of it. So let me get off here and stop the share. Okay. Now I'm coming back over here, got everybody going. I'm still recording. So look, that is pretty much what I would say is the main format tonight for my presentation. I wanted it to wrap it in about 20 minutes, so I've done well. And I wanted to then, of course, open up to questions. So if someone has a question about events, the power of events, hosting events, then I'm happy to just have you unmute and ask the question. No one unmuting. Okay, so no.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all again.
Great.
My question is, I might have missed some of it, but you said that when you have your regular events at home, it's not a product presentation, it's more associates getting together. So when is it that you do your product presentation?
Well, we do our product presentation at a product presentation, but the morning coffee meetings are not just associates, it's opportunities for associates to bring guests. Okay. Sometimes we will do what I call a mini presentation, but that's only 10 minutes just explaining about the molecules, or sometimes we might put on something like the breakthrough DVD, and it's just a clip, I should say. It's a way of just giving people a taste, and it's often a hook in, but it's not a full 1 hour full-blown presentation. What we've found is that sometimes scares some people if the first place they get to is the full-blown presentation. If they come in via a coffee and a chat, it can sometimes make it easier. Not everybody manages well asking the right questions in large groups. So when they come into the coffee meeting, they can mill and mix and
Okay, that's
hopefully
great.
That helps.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
Yeah, Jeanette, that was my first, hang on, I'm just going to move this down because I'm looking at another screen. That's better. That was my first experience of actually a live coffee meeting, because in Melbourne, we're so spread out. I was running coffee meetings on Zoom, and, you know, we had a bit of fun with that, get your coffee, come to Zoom, and but it's so lovely having it live. Where, you know, you're really connecting with people, and I love that informal you know, aspect of it, but there's also a formality to it as well. So it's a really nice balance. I loved it, and I look forward to where there's more people, you know, in more concentrated areas where we can start doing those in Melbourne.
Yeah, thanks, Janine. And, you know, sometimes, look, I'll just tell everybody what happens. Most of the time we have a dozen or so people at our coffee meeting. Sometimes we end up with half a dozen. Sometimes it's been as high as 20. But mostly it's about that 10 to 12. One day we had 2 other people join us other than Jen and I, and they were both associates. So that day we took that as an opportunity, obviously, to share some tips, do a little bit of team training, and they loved that.
Oh, okay.
So we've got a little bit of interference, I think. I'll just come back to muting here for a moment. Okay, I'm not sure where that came from. I think someone just joined us and there was a bit of muting.
It's from Nicole and Justin.
Pardon?
It's from Nicole and Justin. Mute them.
Aha. We'll just find them. Hang on a minute. No, most people look like they're muted. Hang on. It's someone on a Samsung Galaxy S7 by the looks of it.
Yeah, I have asked them to mute, but I don't think they're getting the message. So maybe just ask them straight out there, Jeanette.
Okay, so we'll just put them on hold for a moment.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Will do. Okay, that's fine.
If you click on the upper right-hand photo, you'll find a mute button.
Yeah, I did, but that Samsung 7 didn't have a mute with it.
That means that the audio must be off.
Well, it didn't then. Looks okay now. We'll just see how we go, huh?
Okay, sure.
I'll just get back to mute all. Okay, and we'll continue. All right. I'm still recording. Maybe I'll better stop the recording. right now and just open it up a bit more.